Adventures of Sonic Episode 28. Must have been a beautiful baby. Scratch and Grounder taunt Sonic and Tails as they're being put in a hamster ball that spins around. Wait, how did Sonic escape it? I guess he used a spin dash. Scratch says Sonic will be destroyed by his own body's electricity. He says he hates when that happens. The static only attaches close to him, and he uses a tornado and sends underwear at them. Tails says Robotnik might do his washing here. Oh, they're at a dry cleaners. I thought they were in Robotnik's fortress. And Robotnik had camera footage of their fight. How is the ending predictable? Robotnik says that with these idiots, it takes years for him to win, and he'll be an old man.
I'll be an old man!
He gets the idea from the idiots that he could invent a ray to prematurely age Sonic into an old man. I like that Grounder said it'd be just like taking candy from a baby. A really old baby.
It'll be just like taking candy from a baby. A really old baby.
Robotnik tests out the ray on some hamsters or something, which are just as small as you'd expect despite being able to talk. Sonic brings Tails some instant chili dogs, putting water on them. There's no way that, 1, that would work, and 2, they taste remotely good at all. They'd be awful. Cold for one. So Sonic is so obsessed with chili dogs that he has no standards. Tails tastes what turns out to be mud, and Sonic points out an instant food factory that wants food tasters. We see robot hands dropping water into the factory. Sonic is able to flip a lever to increase the speed at which the robot hands and conveyor belts operate. There's no way there wouldn't be someone manning that lever, keeping him from doing that. This is the emptiest factory ever. Plus, if they could have that factory at the highest speed and be fine, they would have had it at that by default for max productivity. Sonic avoids Scratch, and Tails takes a sip of water or something, which turns him into a giant because he can't digest, getting him trapped in the door. Grounder presses the blue button, turning Tails into a baby. Oh, and Sonic too. Seriously, why would Eggman ever put a reverse in his oldifying ray? Why did the idiots think it's a bad thing? Either way, the hero should be easy to defeat. Although Tails being younger meant he was brave enough to break the oldifying ray. Sonic says he wants to fix it, insisting he's good at fixing things. And because he doesn't get his way, he starts crying. He immediately gets his way, oh god, that's familiar. And he breaks the ray to pieces. It makes it hard for the robots to aim at him. So even as a toddler, he's still smarter than these robots. Tails then spills the milk he had for no reason at all. I guess that's what made the robots fall on the conveyor belt. The heroes watch behind a screen, seeing the robots get frozen and crushed into instant food, and they laugh about it. When these are people who talk around them a lot and show personality, so you'd think they would see them as people no matter what. Robots are not. You'd think Sonic caring about them would be the only reason he doesn't attack them or kill them outright. So I laugh about this. They're back to normal when water is sprayed at them. Scratch is happy when he tells Robotnik about his failure for no reason, and Robotnik says he'll give the robots one more chance. Why say that if you don't mean it? You're gonna give them thousands of chances. Since Sonic and Tails are napping, the villains go up to them, but Scratch and Grounder screw up even this time because they fight over the oldifying ray. It starts sparking, and Scratch ends up somehow turning Robotnik into a baby who throws a tantrum. I could easily imagine that he was like that as a baby. Sonic throws pies at his face, and he and Tails run away from the bad guys. They sure are lucky that as babies, they're not so young that they're totally helpless like I would logically expect. Because they can still run away. They're not just lying there, like babies actually do. The babies cry in front of the window of an ice cream shop, and an old lady feels sorry for them. Fortunately, she realizes that they need someone to look after them and brings them to the daycare center, the responsible thing to do. Sonic says he's gonna like it here, and Robotnik has plans. Why is nobody questioning Robotnik's black and red eyes? Everyone should be afraid of him and immediately realize who he is and want to get rid of him forever. While the heroes are on the seesaw, Robotnik puts dynamite below it. And the old woman puts him on the seesaw, causing the dynamite that shouldn't be here to explode and send him into the garbage can. This should kill him or injure him, especially since he's a baby. He shouldn't have even had access to dynamite, and the old woman should have freaked out from that. But instead, the writing is shit. The whole point of having an episode where they're all turned into babies is to restrict them to baby stuff for a change. Not to give Robotnik access to the same stuff, but as a baby, while the heroes aren't really restrained by being babies at all. Sonic's still beating him effortlessly as a baby. And yet the stupid woman isn't fooled by Scratch and Grounder. Robotnik puts jelly beans as a trail to lead the heroes to something, but the woman tells the heroes they shouldn't eat so many sweets. Robotnik hates that there's only black and green jelly beans left, but then his gluttony leads him to his own trap. And Sonic throws a stick for a dog tied to it, sending him over the wall and crushing the robots. The woman then drags Robotnik back into the daycare, and Sonic jumps around. Then the small elephant girls look wary and whisper to him, only to resume playing as if nothing happened. But that was filler then. Why does nobody question that there's someone who could only look like a baby Sonic and Tails in this daycare? Especially Tails, like maybe there are more blue hedgehogs in this world, but Tails has two tails and he's probably the only one like that. Why is nobody questioning that there are baby Sonic and Tails here when Sonic and Tails are too young to have kids? Shouldn't people want to find out their parents do DNA tests? This is totally insulting. Sure, it's a fantasy universe with cartoon characters, but I have a limit, damn it. What? Sonic tricks Robotnik into grabbing his own rope to be flung around the place with his own trap and get led away by a speeding car. Scratch has every reason to freak out when an explosion happens. And reality ensues as Scratch bandages Robotnik's entire body. He should have been killed, but this is better than nothing. Scratch turns Robotnik back to normal. I guess it makes sense that he would be healed from that because of the passage of time. The old woman asks Robotnik sweetly if she can help him. Robotnik sweetly. Oh good, she does ask if she knows him. But then she says that might be it when Robotnik says he rules the planet. Does he rule the planet or not? Is he delusional? Why the fuck did she let him in? Everyone should know who he is! This is so unrealistic it's insulting. It would have made more sense if he just broke into the daycare with something like a tank. Scratch, thanks to the old woman, ends up turning the heroes back to normal and turning Robotnik into an old man. In Sonic Says, we go back to Sonic and Tails being trapped in the hamster ball. Sonic then says that every year some stupid kid goes into a hot dryer and gets his bones broken. Literally every year? Is that true or not? I hate to think they were making that up. I love that he calls the hypothetical kid ignorant.
Some ignorant kid.
I like hearing Sonic be a dick for once. This episode had the refreshing shaking things up of turning the main characters into babies. Except Scratch and Grounder, obviously. Technically they'd already be babies since they were only built a few years ago, so that ray would kill them. But since the whole point of the ray was to age Sonic up, there's no reason this episode should have happened. The episode could have easily been about him intentionally trying to turn Sonic into a baby. But even then, you'd think that he would just turn him into a baby so young that he wouldn't even be able to crawl yet and win. So I guess it has to be unintentional so that they don't turn him too young because it was just an accident. Problem is, how would they reverse the effect of the ray with their only engineer, like a baby? So they had to have the ray be capable of both to return Eggman to normal. And I guess Eggman programmed the youngifying feature as an antidote just in case it was used against him. I guess it's good to have Robotnik have some intelligence, but he never explains why he had a reverse switch that backfired on him. So the credit to his character is only subtle, as we don't see his robots turn him from an old man to normal using the baby ray. So once again, the episode falls apart, when it could have easily not. Speaking of that, so does the idea that the old lady, when she found what were clearly baby versions or babies of some very famous people on her planet, she didn't freak out immediately and figure out what was going on, or something close to it. She didn't look at someone with black and red eyes and figure out it was Robotnik and call the police. If she's senile, then she would have been forced to retire because she would be too old to work. I don't think the plot would have been that changed if she knew it was Sonic and Tails, because no one knows where their parents are anyways, and either way, they're trapped in the daycare and can't do much as babies, so she'd still have to take care of them either way. And the idea that she wouldn't immediately recognize Robotnik as an adult is laughable. But not in the this is funny way. But at least there, the plot could have worked without her being stupidly senile, because Robotnik should have just built a tank and blasted into the daycare, which would have been a better villain moment. Finally, daycares aren't free. I would know. I guess that woman was being very generous by bringing the babies to her daycare for free since they had no parents. But logically, she should have also called the police to see if they can do anything to help, which would have led to them finding out who the babies are from a DNA test. It also makes no sense that Robotnik would have access to dynamite as a baby, and that the woman didn't react properly to it at all. Also, when I saw Tails get turned into a baby first, I thought the episode would be a bit more heartwarming, with Sonic taking care of him and hugging him, showing his fatherly instincts. But whatever, I guess it wasn't a big loss. I mean, that wouldn't have made for a very action-y plot. And nobody wants to see Sonic changing diapers, which was a baby problem that was completely ignored for good reason.